Good afternoon. 2 videos today. Felt called and was worried tomorrow I wouldn't remember this. And so, hey, seize the moment, right? Had to go outside, get all the animals fresh water without having to haul it. Just had to wait a little bit later in the day for things to not be frozen, which was a very big blessing that I'm grateful for when it's warm enough not to have to haul water. But I had posted something, and I think this is a good moment where, hey, we all are learning from each other. And the gist of the post was basically a meme. My kids always say I say it wrong. Anyway, that said something like appreciating or liking it when people are very blunt and to the point. And I'm a people pleaser by nature. I have a very hard time being blunt. And so I do appreciate that. But my wonderful friend pointed out that balance is needed. And because there are times we need to be blunt, but there's times it can be rude. And that in and of itself raises a bunch of questions. So to kind of tackle it a little bit by a little bit, I think there's kind of, we see duality in the world. And seeing all sides of the spectrum, or even seeing it not on a spectrum, is important. And if you're at one end where you're people pleasing all the time, and then you're at the other end where you're always very vocal, very blunt, to the point, somewhere we need to find balance. And as I become a more vocal person that at times has become a little more blunt, I do find that there are situations where I feel like I need to be a bit more graceful, because I am talking to another human being, and I don't want to be off-putting. There are also times when I'm making or holding firm on a boundary that the time for niceties has passed. And I think it's up to us to find that balance within us. I also think that either way, either end of the spectrum, that there's usually a reason why we are the way that we are. Why are we a people pleaser? Why are we a blunt person? And that's a time where you go, I need to do some work here. Why am I this way? What can I do to find out what made me tick like this? And what about this is bothering me? Why, for example, for myself, if I'm a people pleaser, why am I a people pleaser? Was there an event that caused that? Were there several events? Why did I find that to be my mode of adaptability in being in the world, existing in this world? And somebody who is very blunt might say, why am I this way? Why did I find bluntness to be the way that I started to navigate in the world? And then if it's a trigger that somebody is being blunt or somebody is sugarcoating things, then why does that bother me? Is that because I can't be blunt? Is it because when you're sugarcoating something, I can't really make out what that person is wanting? when we're doing this deep inner work, when we have these moments where, why am I like this? Why am I a person that likes to people please? Why do I like to sugarcoat? What about me does that? And this is the key part. Do I want to still carry that and be that person? Or do I want to transition into being somebody who is blunt or somewhere that's in the middle of the spectrum? Do I want more balance? My daughter really likes, one of my daughters really likes the yin yang symbol. And, there's lots of different ways to read that. Little good in every evil or bad, and a little bad or evil in every good. And I think this is an instance where we can say there are times that you need to be blunt. And there are times that you might need to be more people-pleasing, sugarcoating. There needs to be a balance. And I find that, at least for me, and if that doesn't jive with you, that's okay. But when we're doing deep inner work and we're saying, why am I this way? Is this who I want to be? Do I want to be something else, something new? How do I make that happen? There's absolutely, positively nothing wrong with that. And in fact, you'll find yourself in a people-pleasing or sugar-coating situation, and you'll go, do I want, and it's a fraction of a second, do I want to be like this in this moment? Or is this a time that a little more bluntness is needed? Or is there a balance in between? That's really up to you. And if you're a blunt person, you might say, this is gonna sound so, I'm starting to be aware this could be hurtful to somebody. I don't mean to hurt them. I just want them to know exactly how I feel. The other thing that it brought up for me was when someone is being direct with us, we need to step back and not take that as personally as I think we do. They're being direct and trying to communicate their needs. If I'm not direct and I don't communicate my needs, then how are they going to know how I feel? I can sugarcoat my needs while still being direct, but there's times if that's ignored that I might need to be more direct. And then I might get to the point where whether or not I'm hurting feelings doesn't matter. That balance is up to you to decide. There's really no right, wrong, good, or bad. We're told all the time by society, and we're programmed from childhood to, you've got to be this, if you're a girl at least, the sweet person who doesn't make any ruffles or waves, and don't make any waves, and don't be loud, and all those things, and don't be bossy. Oh my gosh, so many things. And it's strange to me because a lot of those attributes people gave me, but I've realized how much of a people pleaser and how indirect of a person I actually am. And then I'm like, wow, if this is how I feel, and I was labeled bossy and all that stuff, what does somebody that's meek and mild, how are they really feeling inside? So if you have something that's triggering you, if you're scrolling through your feed and you're going, I don't know, why? I don't like that. Those are usually the moments that I go, why do I not like that? I don't like it because ... It goes back to my childhood when this person did ... And then I go, do I need to still be this person? Do I still need to be this person that was affected by some trauma from another kid when I was 5? Maybe. Maybe it was something so startling that I no, that's going to be with me forever. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that I go, I don't need to people please everybody, or I don't need to be blunt to everybody. Maybe I can find balance. The key here is it has to resonate with you. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what your mom thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Inside, your internal guidance system is guiding you. It's up to you to listen and decide what's going to happen. That's free will. So, what are you going to do? Who do you want to be? And if you decide today that you want to be this person, that doesn't mean you can't in the future go on to be this person or go back to being that person. There's no rules. So don't get boxed in. Listen to those triggers. Dig deep on them. And that's the hard part. That's where we want to go, ooh, that feels hard and uncomfortable, and I don't want to remember being 5 and getting picked on because I said the wrong thing and I was humiliated in front of my entire family. Or I was humiliated at school. Or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. All that matters is if you want to feel it now and decide if you want to let it still define you as a person. And then decide if you want more balance, or maybe you like being that blunt person. I feel very different about the blunt people in my life, and I feel very different about the people pleasers in my life, and all in good ways, because I see the good things about being a people pleaser. I see the good things about being a blunt person. I see the bad things about being a people pleaser, and I see the bad things about being a blunt person. And it makes me really start to evaluate and appreciate what person I want to be. And so hopefully at the end of all this, it makes you want to dig deeper. It makes you want to decide who you want to be. And when you're in that moment, deciding who you want to be, you're stepping back and observing yourself. You're choosing, instead of falling into that role of programming, you're choosing distinctly who you want to be. That's powerful. That's freedom. I hope the rest of your day is amazing. Have a good one.